Something was lost when we stopped connecting with horses daily 100 years ago. Today, we're going to take a look at what that is and why it matters. Last fall, my daughter brought home this riddle. What has no life but can die? Machines. It's funny how I'll say my car or phone is dead, but when did it live? Saying so is kind of like putting the cart before the horse. When I turned 40, my friends told me if I could ride a horse, then I could drive a horse, and they were right. As I learned this new way of connecting with horses, it dawned on me that historically, children probably learned how to drive a cart sitting side by side with their parents, the same way we teach driver's ed, before they had a horse between their legs. It was very natural for me to begin teaching my own children and students this way when we got a pony who came with his own cart and harness. This is Chester. Chester and the driving community taught me that each cart is designed to fit a certain size horse, which is how the expression evolved. We think of it as meaning things are in the wrong order. The horse must pull the cart. But it is so much more than that. People were prioritizing keeping their cart when it was time for a new horse, thereby not prioritizing the horse-to-human connection, which is the most important part. Essentially, it's another variation of the material over the living connection. I am a certified horse adventure coach, author, and podcaster, and I believe that horses provide a powerful antidote to our machine-induced disconnection. Most of us hardly even see each other anymore because communication via phone, computer, or text is more common than ever before. Yet less than 100 years ago, we were connected to another being in our daily lives to get around and do everything, to living machines, as they were once called. Did you know that we were not only treating horses as machines, but ourselves as well? The 9 to 5 standard is rooted in the amount of time that a horse could work at 3 miles per hour before a halting fatigue would set in. Horses are not meant to work like machines, and neither are humans. I asked my grandmother, who was born in 1931, if she remembered anything about the transition from horsepower to machine power in her youth. Apparently, my great-great-grandfather, who was a farmer, said, "When tractors entered the field, I didn't want to farm anymore. It just wasn't the same without a horse. We were a team." Some people still team with horses for traditional work, like my neighbor, shown here, with his team of 4 plowing a potato field in Teton Valley, Idaho, as his family has done for over 7 generations. It was my own grandmother, with her coiffed hair, blue jeans, and fingernails full of horse dust, who taught me what it means to be a team. Every summer, beginning at the age of 7, we would visit her family farm for Grandmother's Week. In this family photo from the late 1900s, you can use that one. You can see my grandmother in motion, using her voice, hands, and seat to move her horse closer. She is energetically setting the tone for her horse, her grandchildren, and the entire herd. My wise grandmother did not hand over the reins until each of us demonstrated the ability to control and co-regulate our horses on our own. According to the Child Mind Institute, co-regulation is a mutual exchange of calm between two people. Here, we see co-regulation between people, between horses, and between horses and people. You can also see the horses demonstrating that they are prey animals with mobile ears out to the sides and eyes on the side of their head, identifying them as prey animals. Because humans have eyes in the front of our head, nature identifies us as predators. Yet, interspecies co-regulation between predator and prey has been in existence in this way for over 5,000 years. In fact, humanity refers to it as another sense. Dolly Parton said, "Just having good horse sense, you can make more money and get more done than all the people who got to fumble around in their books trying to find an answer to something." In a nutshell, horse sense refers to the simplicity of what we can see and know, based on the real feel, if you will. My children ask me almost daily, "Is this real?" We are rarely looking at something in real space when they ask this. We are trying to make sense of pixels on a screen manufactured by a machine. What if, instead of turning to AI for answers, we turned to HI? Horse intelligence. We must put the horse and humanity first. It must be the living before the machine. Which brings me back to the cart before the horse. Those living at the turn of the century knew that these things must fit together in a certain way, and why people were losing sight of their priorities. They understood the nature of horses and humans. To catch up to today, we are so disconnected. We hardly see each other anymore. In fact, face-to-face socializing has dropped by 30% among American adults since 2003. The decline was even more pronounced among teenagers, dropping by 45%. We are losing social skills that only develop in real space. And let's go back to that time to put it in perspective, when things were also changing so fast. It was hard to know what was real anymore. To put it in perspective, in 1900, there were maybe 21 million horses, 8,000 cars, and 13,000 registered carriage makers. By 1930, there were approximately 18 million horses, 27 million cars, and less than 100 carriage makers left. As the Great Depression took hold, the Bureau of the Census declared that the transition from horses to cars was one of the main contributing factors to the present economic situation. So the real cause of the Great Depression was our society losing horses. Right? I knew you knew that was coming. There were many factors, but as a horse person who has lost a horse, I can tell you that it will take you into a depression. Speaking of depression, when I interviewed horses for mental health on my podcast, I understood for the first time how horses have always been a portal to face-to-face communication. With a horse, you must see and be seen, touch and be touched, to sense the work together, heartbeat to hoofbeat. Machines are not alive. They are programmed, rebooted, charged, designed to meet our every whim. But when we work with the horse, we tap into something else. And as the great equestrian Ray Hunt said, there is one other thing that makes it all work, and I do not know what that is. Maybe we are not meant to know what that is, only sense that it is there, that it matters, and that the connection between horses and humans can always be found again.